Hello, Mr. Cunningham, and welcome to Bright Academy. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. For you?
Well, I'm doing just fine. Now, where have you worked in the past, and why are you here today?
Well, in the past, I worked for public radio, Chicago. My stint was from 1975 to 2016. And Deutsche Public Radio was a small station only operated by Chicago Public School. And it was WPC. B was for Board of Education. The W is from east of Mississippi. And the K there is west. So that's where the W and the B is from. Well, that's my work for 41 years.
Wow. And what made you want to work in radio and television?
Well, it was incidentally, I love music. So I just listened to music on the radio, in the car, and anywhere else I was. I struggled getting to my parents, because my parents loved music. And when I was a young kid, all I heard was the music and that's what they loved, my granddad and my grandma. We just listened to a lot of music. And, when you listen to radio and music, you hear talk with people. And it brings a friendship, it brings a relationship of love. That's what's I love music.
That's really nice. And how is it like being a Black person working in media?
Well, at the start, it was kind of stressful because I was the only Black there. But it was so great. I mean, it was a challenge for me to deal with everybody, people that I didn't know. It wasn't a big problem because, I pretty much lived in the city. I was segregated, but it's fine. Not a problem. Got through it all.
Well, that seems just fine. And can you tell us about a time where you helped people?
Well, I did a lot of festivals. I coordinated a lot of festivals, all kinds of musicians, jazz, blues, gospel. We did. 25 years we did 4 festivals a year. And also we did the Taste of Chicago, which was a big And the best part of it is family, friends, sing along together. We were able to bring all that in. It was always on the Trillo bench, the Trillo bench. Trying to go away from Gordon's page. They still do it. It's been going on for probably the last 40 years.
That sounds fun. Maybe I can go sometime. And did you have any challenges in your job?
Well, there's always challenges in the job. I don't care what job you get, there's going to be some challenges. There's going to be some situations and issues you have to deal with. But when I first started, I started in the beginning. I started as a production engineer. I worked on executive management. And so there was challenges in there, but there was a lot of challenges. Always challenges on people trying to understand them and training people. And the worst part of it was we had to terminate people, but it was still a challenge.
Yeah. And how did your work help share Black stories, voices, or culture?
Well, let's look at this. Since this is Black History Week, let's look at this here. In 1966, Dr. Martin Luther King walked called Martin, which was no blacks were there. There was a march they did with the going process. I was a young kid, about 18 years old. And so years later, in 1976, he was gone. He did a march in there, just a good bit of it. And the people that me and the guy named Scott Steiner, who's still at NPR in Washington, he did a production live. The people from Kentucky and the people that was marching and down to the station, it was a riot. And we got a major award with Abraham Lincoln School of Journalism. They gave us an award for the best documentary ever. That was part of the cult of going into media.
Yeah. And while working in television and radio, have you seen any changes happening?
Yeah. One thing that I can show you on that table right there, we went from cassettes to reels and CDs and what is it, album, with the album. Did you ever sing that album? This is the music from people from Chicago people. This is what an album looks like. So that's the big changes. Now you guys got Spotify and Pandora. Matter of fact, in the beginning, when I first started, we had a machine that we could actually make records on. And then they learned that and the quality of it wasn't as good as it is nowadays. But we didn't have all these different avenues you guys had, podcasts and stuff. We didn't have all that. We literally had to cut tape to make shows. If you ever go to Chicago, you guys, the station is on what we call Navy Pier. I was starting to build. We went from a small non-pop operation to a major building. We were number 3 public radio station out of 500. And we built a 48,000 square foot building, which is what I was trying to build. And so that's probably the biggest part of building stands. We have the best part, me and the lady, Miss Nolan, Carol Nolan. We go back up, and she's the reason I stayed there so long. She was just the greatest lady I ever met in the world. She was so inspirational. When Navy Pier is owned by the Metropolitan Pier Authority, which is owned by the state and the city, and Carol and I, in a couple of terms, we negotiated the land and built a new facility there. Guess what kind of negotiation this is like? We negotiate the land, we wouldn't have to tax anything, everything in the building, we built ourselves. But we negotiated 99-year lease, which we paid a year. Yes, somebody just say yes, you know. But you say again, how much we have to pay for that lease every year. So we go there, just with a black kid from Lakewood, so that's why we drop there. Don't let nothing stand in your way of your nothing, except your parents.
No!
But, you know, a guy that I've been knowing for 60 years or more, he was always there. I talked to him about, he's probably one of my brother's friends that's still around. And he told me, he heard about you in radio. Everybody knew stuff. I don't think I'm dead before that. But it was an experience out there. And since it's a public radio station, we always had fundraisers every year, 3 times a year. And we got to the point where we could raise $1 million. Yeah. That's awesome. So you know who that is?
I don't think so.
That's okay.
That's the 39th president of the United States, Jimmy Carter. He just passed away 100 years ago. He was such an important guy. Every time he came to the city, he'd always come to the station and we'll either have lunch or something. Music. That this lady is Nancy Wilson. She's one of the most vibrant jazz ever. Dizzy Gillespie was former the most important trumpet player. He's played all over Cuba and everywhere. Chaka Khan, I don't know if you've heard her, she's still around. She,
Yeah, we have.
She's from Chicago, not far from what she went from Chicago High School. And she was down at the station, one of the festivals that Jack Douglas takes in Chicago. This is me hosting, like a booth at the possible in Chicago. And New York, everything.
I do theater at NTPA, North Texas Performing Arts. I've done many shows also in California where I was born, and my love of theater has just like grown on me. I've been in JTF, Junior Theater Festival. I have gone to New York and been in Broadway Workshop, and I'm going again this year. I'm going again this year, so I'm excited for that. I'm in Singing in the Rain, like I told you. I'm Dora Bailey, a news reporter. And what else have I done? Oh, I've seen many Broadway shows, including Hell's Kitchen from Alicia Keys. And it was very interesting. It had lots of her songs, but put into a musical. And it was all cohesive and put together, and it told the story of Alicia Keys, but it also included a bunch of her songs, and it was so fun to see it all come to life.
Wow.
But yeah, it's like Linton's been on it's real good. And here's a good part. I don't think I even mentioned this when Mayor Washington was mayor of Chicago, first black mayor of Chicago, and I was involved in it, and it was amazing. I was there. I was actually in the room on the stage with Scott Simon, and he told me, you guys, he said, if he wins, I'll kiss your feet in front of him. And guess what?
Wow.
He did. Yeah. He's one of the guys I trained. He's one of the guys I trained in radio. His dad was a big time in television. Chicago, in the Chicago scene. He's got the radio. He's still in NPR. And when Obama won, it was Grand Park. Grand Park was perpendicular to right across the water. We were Grand Park where he was getting trial again. And what happened is it was so loud over there. I went on our building. I went there and I didn't go there. I was in staying in the office to make sure they were coming there live. And man, the distant sound comes from it. It was a sound I never heard. It just bounced off the wall and came right up my belt. But other black kids from black neighborhoods. Never thought I would be more these things. Whatever your man can continue to do, let nothing, there's nothing stop you from your goal. So you're already on the path. So don't deter from that path, don't go left or right, keep straight, keep forward.
Anybody can.
Yeah.